Hello YouTubers and SSG followers. So I'm on time. Okay, this is my last video for 2014. So I shall title this video Battery State After the 120 Charging and Discharge Procedure by the BDNI SSG circuit. So resting voltage of mine discharged battery 12.02, primary battery 12.62 milliamps 0000 on other side. So this is a milliampere for the charging battery, and this is voltage meter for the charging battery. So as you can clearly see, I have here discharged very good discharged battery with a good resting voltage. And this is my primary battery with 12.62 and 000 milliamps. So here we go. Yeah, I should disclaim, this is not an over unity system. If any think this is an over unity system, it's not, because you spending clearly energy to run the system, but anyway you get the fully charged battery on other side. So if you don't know what actually charging this battery, my battery actually charged by the very short and high powerful voltage impulses, which going as a result when on my circuit one transistor close the circuit. So anyway, you will know about this information even later. I mean, if you're interested for this stuff as an experiment, you should probably know about energyscienceforum.com, which run by Aaron Murakami, great guy. And yeah, before I start my experiment, as I said earlier, this is my after 20 charge and discharge procedure. So this is actually from this time and location and point I will try to use this battery in conventional means. So you will probably see in the next year the video about how I put an inverter to the battery which I previously charged by the BDNI circuit. Then in this type of the configuration I will hook up a conventional charging device and try to charge my primary battery by conventional means, so to speak. But this will be like battery charged from the BDNI connected to the inverter. From this inverter I have a conventional charging device which connected to the inverter itself, and it should charge my primary battery. And when I get fully charged my primary battery, I can run and repeat the experiment many times. But I will promise you following. Actually, this is a research type experiment. So my research, I should say, it's clearly I have successful results on my research, and I have plans to move further. So to speak, expect that I will in the next year I will use capacitors. Yeah, everybody wants to play with the capacitors, and I can explain how I will use the capacitors. The capacitors will be actually on my primary side. I'm trying to tell you that I want to use not the battery for my primary, but a capacitor system type. What I mean by that, I can now, as clearly as for me, I can imagine that I hook up a coil. This coil would have same quality as other coil. It's like two windings, Lincoln R60 for my coil rod, and two leads, two cables which going from this coil, and this coil will be like here, a vertical position towards my other coil, This will be like additional generator coil, and to the coil I will connect special setup. I will show you my circuitry, but first I need to build and, so to speak, upgrade my system, and it will take the time. I cannot promise the date and the month because I have other tasks to do, but anyway, I can promise you following. In 2015 I will start to build an upgrade for my current BDD system, and this upgrade, I hope, will produce even better results. And this is all what I want to say about my upgrade for the future, but expect to see some nice and interesting stuff. Now I will just start my circuit. I connect my circuit to the battery. You see this, you hear the self-oscillation noise. I disconnect one of the connections of the battery. Now I can run my system. I move my wheel like this, and let's look at my charging battery. It took a lot of time. It took a long time to get proper charging results. So if you're watching this video for the first time, this is not first time where I charge my battery with the BDD circuit. Just think about this. You need to discharge and charge your battery 20 times to get actual results. If you don't do this, probably you won't get such results. But I think this can be expected when you have only one transistor system. BDD has developed systems with a 7 or even more transistor type system, and as long as you have more than one transistor, you should able to get even faster results. But the problem is fast charging the ions in the battery, how fast they can be potentialized. So I cannot give you any clue how to get the fast results. For me, it's just interesting to observe that I'm getting the impulse charging. I'm getting impulses which go into my battery on the small current. This impulse is actually enough to charge my battery to the full capacity, and it takes a few days. So anyway, charging procedure happens, and this is once again, I repeat this again, this is after 20 charge and discharge. So the battery should be conditioned first, then you can see actual results. This is my charging side, primary 15 milliamps, and you see 12.10 volts. This is my other side. This is my primary, so you clearly see I'm spending the energy here and not gaining any further additional energy. So this is not another unity, because I'm spending here my energy. So yeah, like this. So you see voltage drop, and the power consumption, like 13, 28, 27. So it's obvious as it is, you can actually charge your battery, but you should think about how much energy you will use to actually charge your battery. But what you can do, you can add to the wheel, you can add one or more coils. I will try to add actually one coil. It will be like with a larger coil core. Probably I will wind this additional coil counterclockwise, because with a counterclockwise winding you get even better results. And I assume it will probably increase my movement of my wheel, and probably will have even more costs to run my system, but where I'm going for the capacitors, charging and discharge procedures. And I'm a little bit afraid of capacitors, I should say, because I mean, if you got the capacitor like this battery, like, I don't know, 400 volts and 500 microfarads or even more, so I mean it's larger capacitor like this, like my hand. So with larger capacitors, yeah, it's always you should take precautions. I have special gloves for handling high voltages, but this is another thing for the future. But you can actually add coils when you know that your system running in the best mode possible, I would say. You can go for the sweet spot, meaning less current for a lot of impulses, or you can move your wheel with a high score, with a high RPM, but not getting the results with the battery. So you can adjust the system as you think suitable, and then just try to adjust to add additional coils. And this is, I think, right procedure. First you set up your system to run to the best possible mode possible, and I will, as I said earlier, it depends from your experience with this type of system. But anyway, from my point of view, I reached the point when I can clearly say I can charge this type of impulses my battery, and I want to gain even more energy. And how I can do this in best possible way, cheaper way probably, and efficient way, I add additional coil on the top of my wheel. I need to build apparatus for holding this coil, so it will be not so complicated, and I have the tools and the means to do this. Then I will hook up to this coil one capacitor, and then I hook up another capacitor to this circuitry. I know how much I need to produce to run my circuitry, so like 12 volts and 40 something and milliamps. Probably I will get even more milliamps when I using capacitor, so it will be interesting anyway, but it will happen in the future, and this will definitely 2015. So stay tuned for this. And yeah, you see, I'm clearly charging my battery. The capacity of my battery is pretty good. I tested with a 20-hour discharge load, and I got 5 amp hours from my battery. So yeah, it's I think I reached the COP 0.99, I will say. It's not over 1 COP, but it's still interesting result, and research continues further. I'm not done with my research, but you see, you can build this pretty simple apparatus, I will say, and getting such results. And when I disconnect my primary battery from the circuitry, I will clearly see that my bulbs are lighting on. Okay. So take it or leave it, but the system running, and I'm pretty happy about this. So thank you anyway if you are watching this video still in 2014. I wish you all the good in the new year, and hope we as research and experimenters gain some political, and I hope some publicity and support from our relatives, from our neighbors, from co-workers. Anyway, this project cannot be done in such situations which I saw by other people's, and I'm pretty amazed at other people's doing such experiments and getting the results we still need to push it further. We need to build prototypes, we need to test prototypes, we need to see real, to show real power from our systems, and then people will come to us if they need to urgency, if they have the urgency in such power. But I'm not hiding anyway my stuff. You see this for yourself. And I'm charging the battery pretty good. And this is not an overunity system. Why? Because here's the obvious stuff. I'm losing the energy. The voltage on my primary battery is going down, but it's very slow. It happens very slow. And normally, if you're running conventional charging device, you're spending more than 26 or 27 milliamps. I will be pretty amazed if you can show me the conventional charging device which use so much current and get such results which I'm getting here. So take it or leave it, I don't care anyway. This is my proof that you can actually, that it actually possible to charge the battery with the impulse type voltage. So thank you anyways, and bye bye. Research continues further.